Hello, hello, hello. This is the Bench Podcast with me, Ethan Cunnison, and below me is George Bennett. Say hello, Bennett.
All right, guys, welcome back.
And then to my left is Alex King.
Hello, guys.
So, this podcast episode, in light of all the breaking news in transfers, different clubs, we're going to do a transfer, roundup on all of your clubs, signings and potential signings that your club may make in the future. I think it's 3 weeks till the end of the window.
Yeah, it's October, isn't it? So is that when it finishes?
Yeah. I think it's start of October.
3 more weeks.
Yeah,
mate. 3 weeks.
Jim White's shining his tie up right now for deadline day.
So
we don't know the Jim White podcast.
Jim White, yeah, I'll see.
So just to bring it back, just think about all the signings that each club has made. Who do you think are the standout signings that everyone's made so far?
Ferran Torres, Man City, 21 million.
Anyone else? Top of your head?
For me, it's I'll take Kai Havertz at Chelsea. That's the big one for me. It's the biggest fee so far.
Well, yeah. At this moment of recording, Chelsea are playing. Who are they playing against at the moment? Brighton. It's 1-0, isn't it? Still.
1-0.
Yeah.
1-0.
Yeah. Lose.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah, I just see it on the TV.
Oh, is he lied to us then right at the start of this podcast?
No, I haven't really got it.
You mate, come on.
Anyway. So at the moment of recording, like Arsenal, I've made quite a bit of business. Got Gabriel from Lille. William Saliba's officially come to Arsenal now after being on loan for a season. Got Willian from Chelsea, and other deals that I've had before.
Danny Ceballos has come back on loan as well.
Oh, have they?
He's overrated. Mate, he's got an attitude problem. He has. Literally in training, he started kicking Eddie Nketiah.
Has he?
I saw that. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, mate, he's a troublemaker. He is. I wouldn't have him at the club. He can go around in training doing that. So imagine if one of their players gets injured with him, like if his tackles like that. I wouldn't buy him. I'd just get rid of him. Fuck, it's no need for that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen this. Was it at the start of the game?
He's like squaring up. Yeah, exactly. And he starts squaring up to your own players and kicking.
Caballos kicks him, and then Nketiah squares up to him in the end, and then.
Yeah, I would. If one of my own players started kicking before match, I'm thinking, what are you doing? It's not acceptable to start.
See, the thing is, you do it after the game, though, wouldn't you? You don't want to do it before a game because he just puts pressure on your teammates then.
Yeah.
Anyway, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter now. That was just something everyone was wanting.
It's Arsenal for you.
Well, Adam did have a good performance in the weekend against Fulham, 3-0.
So Gabriel has a good game, you know. Like Marcondes from what's it?
Only bloody Fulham. Bloody hell, they'll be relegated this season.
Yeah, we haven't played since like March.
You need to think when you're playing against. No offense, Fulham fans, but when you're playing against positions that are lower down, that are expect to be low down the table, it's more about the quality of performance compared to the actual score in the end. And looking at the highlights, I didn't watch the game live, but looking at the highlights and the way Twitter was talking, Arsenal's performance was very strong, let's say, but we'll see in the end. It looks like Willian's supposed to be a really good signing. It's
not a bit hard to beat a championship side, is it?
To be fair, though, you got to think because he's been playing the French league. They finished their season early because of the coronavirus. He hasn't played for months, but that's his first game. No, I'm trying to an example because that's what.
About the team in general, they should be beating Fulham.
Exactly, but you need to.
Well, yeah,
you need to remember that in the Premier League, besides the top six, you've got the rest of the Premier League that you need to beat. And if you don't beat the teams low down the table, how do you expect to challenge for top four?
Well, that raises a point.
Win the title?
Is there a top six anymore? Because you've got top four of last season, probably the best four teams in the league. Spurs, Arsenal, not really that competitive. I mean, Arsenal started well, I know, against Fulham, but Leicester, I'd say, are still as good as them. Wolves played well tonight. I think Wolves are just as good as them. Everton look good this season. So is there really a top 6 anymore? Because Spurs, they look really poor. So would you say Arsenal and Spurs are still classed as top 6 clubs? I don't know.
Well,
you've got to be based on the history. You've got to be based on the recently. Well, one more Tottenham's recently performances. Arsenal still got a bit of history to them. That's probably the only thing that's keeping them up there, really. But
Well, speaking of top 6, we'll talk about Chelsea and Chelsea this season. Obviously, because of last season having the transfer ban, that they have saved a lot of money compared to the clubs. They are going ham, and the Hazard sale, they've gone ham in with signing players, and they're signing players in almost every position. They've got Thiago Silva on a free, Timo Werner from Leipzig,
Kai Havertz,
Bennett just said before, Milan Sarr, Ben Chilwell from Leicester, and well, I think
but you've got to give him time to get in the team. You got Ziyech as well.
Yeah,
Ben Chilwell is a lot better than Marcus Alonso. I don't know why you keep playing him. Marcus Alonso might as well be a left winger because he can't defend. This Marlon Buxton could defend better than him. He's awful at defending.
I'm sure, Kingy. I'm sure there's a reason why Ben. Maybe it's fitness.
Okay, well,
you don't know what's going on.
He's good going forward, but defending, he's League One, Championship at best.
I'm sure
that's what they brought him, though, isn't it? Really, it's competition. That's what they're just giving all the players time to stake their claim in the first team. And then he will play for him. I've got no doubt they'll pay 50 million for him.
Well, they should be
45 million.
Can't keep playing Marcus Alonso. He's not good enough.
Right.
So, end of the day, Chelsea, they said they're going to compete for the title this season. Okay, they might finish third, but when you got Kepa in goal, okay, unless it's on a goal, Kepa's not good enough.
Well, they're in talks of him with what's his name, Mendy.
Mendy from Rennes.
Yeah.
Who the hell's that? it's not.
Kingy. Hopefully, the club of Chelsea sides, they have
a good
scouting network, and they've heavily scouted into finding a goalkeeper that's more capable than Kepa.
What the hell?
Rennes got Champions. If I'm not mistaken, Rennes got Champions League football last season because of him. He was one of the key players. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But anyway, no, to say obviously as a Liverpool fan, I was annoyed that we didn't get Timo Werner, and he's going to be a good player for Chelsea, no doubt. He's also got the pace and finishing ability, and it's a shame that we haven't got him. But again, Chelsea are going to get a good player out of him. And obviously Kai Havertz, he's one of the Bundesliga's best players last season. And obviously he's cost a big fee to get him there, but I think he'll do a job as well. I don't think they'll challenge for like a league title or anything. They could probably challenge for maybe like an FA Cup or a League Cup or do well in the Champions League. But
you never know. I think whether they'll challenge for a trophy for the Premier League is like yet to be seen, because obviously the season's just started. But I look at teams like Liverpool who haven't really invested this season, and City who are yet to
really splash the cash.
Yeah, yet to splash the cash as we thought they would. They've signed Nathan Ake and Fernando Torres, obviously. Both, for me, squad players, it looks like. I don't see them as first team players.
No.
Maybe the league will be a bit. I don't see Ake being a first team.
It's either him or Otamendi. Who do you have? You got Otamendi playing, man. He doesn't know how to play football.
Will he be covered though, wouldn't he?
Laporte.
That's one, yeah. Good,
and obviously talk about potential transfers later on, but the link with Koulibaly, so
that's what
I think Ake is going to be a backup centre now.
I tell you, the team needs to. I tell you, if Liverpool defend like they did the other night, Chelsea will put 4 or 5 past you.
No, I think we'll be fine. It was a one-off game.
George, you can see it's 3 to Leeds.
Bennett,
still won the game.
Bennett, okay, you say it's a one-off game, but towards the end of last season, you were poor. So it's not.
Yeah, because we haven't played for about 3 or 4, every month it was lockdown was.
Yeah,
so is everyone else.
Consideration.
So is everyone else.
Yeah, but we were not far off winning the league title. Were they going to probably not play to the 100% standards?
All I'm talking about is league form, and league form has been poor for Liverpool as of late. We've probably been proven wrong, but we'll see.
Well, poor from your point of view, but we still we still did enough to get the league title. But either way, if you're going to move on to Liverpool, we did make one signing. I mean, that was only a backup left back in Kostas Tsimikas from Olympiacos. But again, Liverpool aren't as rich as what everyone think they are. A lot of our transfers recently have been through player sales from Coutinho to Barcelona. That's how we've got Van Dijk and Alisson.
As I said back in earlier podcasts, and I've been proven right. Just to say, Liverpool don't have money Liverpool don't have money this season.
You got no money.
I said it earlier on. I'm sure I said it in February or March. If we want to count back into the last podcast,
you could have signed. You should sign Thiago, and you're not putting the money in for him.
Hang on, the window's not shut yet. We're still looking at selling players, and then
that's what I mean. But
at the end of the day, his contract runs out in January at the end of the season, so we could just get him on a free.
But other clubs are.
Exactly.
I think if the rumours are to be believed, I think he prefers to go to Liverpool for his final proper payday. I'd say.
Well, get the deal if you want to get the actual reports out, if you want to link over to potential transfers, like Fabrizio Romano's tier 1 journalist in football, as we probably all know. Man United and Liverpool have both agreed terms with Thiago. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, but
we don't need it.
Okay, so the option is you either play for a fairly regular amount of time at Liverpool or warm United bench.
Would he play?
You don't need him.
We do. Ethan,
Ben.
we don't need another midfield. We've got about 10 already. We don't need another midfield.
You don't even need him. You buy him for the sake of buying him.
One sec.
No, you don't. No.
Hear me out.
You've got to. No.
Last season, I'm sure Thiago played most of his games at defensive midfield.
We don't need a centre. Ethan, we've got Fernandes, Bruno, Fernandes, Pogba, Van der Beek, Matic, Fred, McTominay. We don't need any. We don't need him.
Yes, we do.
He's got a point, Ethan.
Our midfield is...
No. Hear me out here. So, Man City. In midfield, Manchester City. I do look at Man City. No, I look at Man City with how much options they've got on the bench. They've got so in midfield they've got Gundogan, they've got Foden, they've got De Bruyne, they've got Rodri, they've got Fernandinho. I've said Fernandinho. Yeah, Fernandinho. Let's carry on. And they've got Bernardo Silva.
Right winger.
In midfield.
He's a winger.
The winger.
He's played in midfield.
No, he hasn't.
Just because he can play there doesn't mean he's actually a midfielder by trade.
He's a winger.
Winger by trade, Ethan.
I'm going to prove you wrong now.
Manchester United need a centre back and a striker and a right winger. That's what they need. It's a pretty simple.
Okay, before we get off topic now, because this is going off and about, we'll do this later. We'll do who do your clubs need, right? We've done
Gareth Bale.
Why don't you talk about Van der Beek, because that's a weird one for me.
Van der Beek.
Yeah, go on.
I'm happy with signing Van der Beek now, because that is pretty much our midfield complete. But we do not need any more midfielders in this team.
It isn't.
Yes, it is.
You're wrong, Kingy. Kingy, I'm telling you this now. You're wrong.
How?
I'm telling you this now.
6
you're wrong.
or 7 midfielders. You don't need any more than that.
Oh yeah. Okay. So midfielders. How many attacking midfielders have we got? How many defensive midfielders have we got? How many
Matic,
box midfielder?
Fred.
Okay, who's our defensive midfielders? Who can play the same way Matic does in defensive midfield then?
McTominay, Fred.
No.
Playing defensive midfield.
No. I can tell you that now.
They can.
No.
That's their job. That's where they play.
No. Fred's
some
more
popcorn. I've got some popcorn right now.
Fred's way more attacking than defensive.
No,
I'll tell
he's
you that
not.
now.
He's a
Yes, he
holding
is.
midfielder.
No, he
He's a
isn't.
holding midfielder, Ethan. A holding midfielder.
Thingy.
Van der Beek.
So he
is
plays
a
number
attacking
10.
You don't
So he
watch
plays
football.
number 10.
I do watch football, Ethan. He's a centre defensive midfielder.
No, he isn't. No, he isn't.
Yes, he is.
Isn't he Cam,
Oh.
Ethan? Isn't he?
Who? Fred.
Van der Beek?
Yeah,
Oh,
Van der Beek's a
I
Cam.
went Fred. I wasn't.
Van der Beek's a
Hey,
Cam.
George, where do you think Fred plays?
Oh,
CDM,
centre mid,
isn't
isn't he? Centre mid, isn't it?
Is he more of a defensive or attacking player?
I think he's more box to box.
No,
Exactly.
he doesn't score goals. He's defensive midfielder.
He isn't.
He's probably got better defensive stats. But I swear, I
No,
heard
he
something
doesn't.
from what I've seen of him. He's box to box.
Don't need a centre defensive midfielder. You've got
He's
enough
like
already.
Lance Henderson.
You prioritise your signings. So Manchester United need a right winger urgently.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you
that's
this
true,
now,
yeah.
Kingy. No,
That's true because it looks like the Sancho deal looks like it's going to be off.
I do agree with you there. No, I do agree with you there, Kingy. That you do need to prioritise positions, but when you've got a player of Thiago's quality,
Oh, for fuck's sake!
you've got to pounce. I'm sorry.
Ethan, we got so many. If we sold a couple, fair enough. But we don't need any more.
Who would you sell then to try and get Thiago? That's an interesting.
I don't think we need to
It's
sell
come to the
anyone.
point. Man United
I
have
don't need to
got
sell anyone.
Manchester United have got a first team, and then they've got a second team. Then you've got youngsters that you want to bring in.
Okay,
Who
so
are good.
hear me out here. Now, hear me out here.
Exactly. So
1 second. Hear me out. So you're playing I hate to like revolve this by bringing this. I'm just going to end it here because
Yeah, just
if
end.
you're playing a 3 in midfield, arguably you need 3 players that can swap in for those players when you need to rest players. Am I right or am I wrong?
no, you don't need that many.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Right, well, none of you are
Paul
going to agree
Pogba-
with this.
Paul Pogba can play defensive midfield, and another player that needs to play this season. I'm going to play is Tendon Mengi. Mengi needs to play.
Who?
Tendon Mengi.
Who the hell's that? Right, move on. Right, we're going to be here all day. Move on. Come on, lads, move on. You think the Man United podcast is move on? Right, I'm gonna go with an interesting team now. We'll leave Tottenham for a minute because they played Everton the other day, and Everton interests me because for a long time they've been Liverpool, the second team in Liverpool. Sorry,
Bastards otherwise.
It's true. I'm not wrong. The second team in Liverpool, but this season they've had quite an interesting window. They've signed some good players, I think. James
3
Rodriguez,
midfielders?
Alan, and Decore from Watford. Very interesting window, I think, for them. And they did quite well yesterday against Tottenham. I mean, they were
quite well. They both really well.
And they still won't do nothing this season.
I think it'll be the best season last few years.
Can you explain? Why do you think Everton won't?
Well, because in the past they've signed top players, or supposedly top players, for big fees, and they haven't done nothing. They finished 13th last season.
Well, hang on, James Rodriguez hang on, before you say James Rodriguez is a Champions League winner. He's a Golden Boot winner in a World Cup. He's won a few league titles in Germany.
He's a good player. He's not world class. He's a good player. He's a good player. He'll improve the team. But when you've still got players like you've got Jordan Pickford in goal, who can't catch a ball, you ain't gonna win nothing. So they might finish 8th, 9th. They might possibly get 7th. Might get a Europa League, possibly. Might not get through. Yeah, but if the team wins the FA Cup or something, or stuff like that could affect it. So they might finish like 8th, 7th, 8th, but they're not going to be any higher than that because they've got
Everton fans are looking for that. The last few seasons they've been like mid-table, bottom half. But this obviously now the times they've got. I mean, Ancelotti's a manager.
I agree, but they're not going to get anywhere. They're not going to win anything because, well, for one, their goalkeepers aren't good enough, and secondly, defensively, I don't think they're that good enough.
I think
they've got to get rid of this loser mentality. Once that's gone, then who knows what will happen with them. But Ancelotti's the manager who can do that because he's a born winner. He's won that much in his career.
On paper, I'm going to say this now. I think Everton now brought up a side that's arguably better than. I can say this now. I think their side on paper is better than Spurs. Is better than Leicester.
No.
And on paper, I'd say it's on par with like a Wolves, for example.
Wolves will finish out of Everton this season.
There's probably they will, but on paper they've got a quality side there, and it's up to the management and the tactics and momentum if they progress up the table.
George, did you watch Wolves today?
I think they can.
I'm going to say something quite mad, but I think Everton could finish above Wolves.
Oh, sure.
That's what I mean.
You know what the hell are you on about?
I think they've got a chance. Wolves will be finished 7th, and I think Everton could beat them to 7th.
No, they won't. Oh, for fuck's sake. They won't beat Wolves this season. Last season, Everton went to Molineux and got battered 3-0.
Yeah, but
this is last season.
What are you on about last season?
They've got James Rodriguez. They've got Richarlison, Richarlison's quality. I don't know how no one snapped him up.
Wolves,
they've got Alan.
Fabian Silva. They got Marcal.
Kingy, Fabian Silva's a football manager.
You're a stroke.
What's Fabian Silva?
He's a football manager. The only good thing about Silva is he's a football manager player. He's done really well on Football Manager. For me, he was shite. But he's been...
I think
he's rated pretty highly, isn't he? Because they're signing for 35.
Honestly, I think Nuno was playing Football Manager one day, and he was looking at the transfer shortlist of Wonder Kids, and he saw Fabio Silva, and he was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Hey, if he turns out to be good,
potential of him. Oh, potential, and he signs him.
What's wrong? Why? So they shouldn't have signed him then?
No, it's a potential player for the future.
He could deliver.
Is he going to get Wolves top 4? Season. Is he get Wolves top 4? Yes or no?
No, 6th.
Exactly. Case closed.
He's Wolves record signing, and he's 18, and he's played 12 games and scored 1 goal last season.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, but he's 18. George, he's going to develop as a player.
Is he worth 35 to 40 million? Yes or no?
Well, probably not that. No.
In this window. No, in this current climate,
statement of intent
he's worth
to spend £40 million. That's a statement of intent to show they've got money and they want to spend money.
Well, they spent 40 million on an 18-year-old kid who scored 1 goal last season in the league.
Yeah, because he's a midfielder, George.
Yeah,
he's a striker.
No striker, sorry.
He's a striker.
I swear he's a fucking midfielder.
You need to look things up, Kingy. Striker.
You what? He'll come good at Wolves, he will.
You probably Kingy. We're not saying that he won't come good at Wolves, but we're just saying that if people are expecting him to come in straight into Wolves' side and bag in 20 goals a season, they're wrong.
Yeah, obviously that's not going to happen. But
he's got to learn to develop in English football. It's a different ball game to Portugal.
Yeah, Nuno's just signed a new contract with Wolves, so that obviously he's going to be there for the long term. So he'll obviously work with him and develop him as a player. Look how well Nuno's developed other players. Obviously, I know Matt Doherty's left, but look how good Matt Doherty was underneath Nuno. Connor Cody's become much better under Nuno. I'm trying to think about who else. Players like Neves, consistently well under Nuno. So, and you know, when they signed him, he was only 19, 20. And Fabian Silva has got Fabio Silva has got a lot more time to develop as a player. So I think he'll do well for Wolves.
You're not listening to us. We're not saying that he won't be good. We're not saying that he won't be good in the future.
And Bettina will be a good player as well.
Who?
This guy that's got on now, this midfielder.
Oh yeah.
And they've just signed a Champions League semi-finalist from Lyon. Who knows? Obviously, he's a decent player.
So where do you think Wolves will finish this season?
Probably about 6th.
6th position.
Easily.
No, honestly, I think they could as well.
Exactly.
No.
Who do you think will finish above them?
Go on, 9 teams that finish over there. No, go on. All right, okay, you've got Liverpool, City, probably Man United, Chelsea. I've got how many more teams.
Arsenal, and I think I think
they beat Fulham. It's fucking Fulham. Who did he say?
Did you just say Spurs?
I think they will eventually.
Oh,
We'll put it like
yeah.
this. Mourinho will not last the season. He'll be sacked, and they'll bring in a manager who's. Mourinho's going to be. He will not last till Christmas. I'm going to say that now. He will not last till Christmas. They'll bring in a manager who's got a bit more attacking sense about him. They'll use Harry Kane more efficiently, and I think they'll do all right.
We'll not finish at Wolves.
Who would they replace? Like Mourinho?
Yeah, no, who's available at the moment to replace Mourinho?
Well, if you look at like what other clubs have been doing at the moment, obviously because they're not like Man United have got Solskjaer, Chelsea have got Lampard. They could go that sort of route and go for a young manager and see and progressive and see where it goes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something now. I think Solskjaer will get a sack this season. I reckon he will. Okay. Honestly, right. I think Man United might struggle this season.
So
you'll definitely get top 4.
No. So comparing like the likes of teams that have spent money, like Chelsea, like Wolves, like Everton, like Leeds. Let's bring it back a bit. Let's bring it back a little bit to clubs that haven't spent as much money, like West Ham, for example. Where I think West Ham are in a really bad position.
They are. They're in crisis mode at their club. I'll tell you what, it's
no.
It is. Have you been reading the news?
They lost 1 game. It's the first game of the season.
Oh, have you seen the pre-season though?
West Ham are in a state at the moment.
They lost one of the best young players to West Brom on a permanent transfer, and Mark Noble, their captain, has slated his own club about it. That's how bad he's getting.
Who was it left? Who left again?
Grady Diagna. From he went on loan to West Brom last season, and they've just sold him permanently for like 18 million. And Mark Noble has lost his shit on Twitter. He's slated the club. That's how bad he's getting. Mr. West Ham slating his own club.
I don't think they'll get relegated, but they'll be struggling here.
I think
they'll just survive. I think they'll just survive. They'll be 17.
Fulham will go down.
Yeah.
Who else? I think West Brom will go down. West Brom, shit. And who?
Fulham.
I've just said Fulham.
Oh, it lagged. Sorry, mate.
West Brom. I'm trying to think who else as well.
I think Villa might as well. You know.
No. Villa won't. No, they'll be good. Villa will be alright this season. They've signed some good players. They've got Martinez from Arsenal, good goalkeeper. They've got Ollie Watkins, who's a decent striker, scored in the pre-season friendly against United on Saturday.
That's Championship level, isn't it, though? Premier League.
Well, he scored against United the other night, so...
I think...
Different, you don't know, do you? It's Premier League.
Looking at the players that Villa have been linked with, like the likes of Ben Rama, who's also...
Rashika from Werder Bremen.
That's another one.
Good signing.
Vincent Traore is close to sign as well from Lyon.
Exactly. Their problems were up front, and I think they've answered those questions. And rightfully, I think Jack Grealish can move into his most preferred position, being more central.
Go on, carry on.
Being more central for Villa. So I think Villa will have a stronger team as they did compared to last season.
Well, I think Villa will do well. I think about 13th, 14th. I think Villa. I think that'll be a decent season for them. I think if they've signed some good players, they're probably going to sign a few more. And I think it'd be good to see them staying. It's good to see them stay in the Premier League because they're a well-established club. So
I think, honestly, with taking it back to West Ham, looking at their team, their best player they've got is Declan Rice, and I think Chelsea are going to be in for him towards the end of the season. And
they've only made one signing, and that's just to get Souček done on a permanent deal. Other than that,
he's a good player.
No one.
He's a really good player.
No, he's a good player, but Declan Rice.
They need more.
I think.
Well, we'll see.
I think they are linked with Kolasinac from Arsenal and Emerson from Chelsea.
Yeah,
That's defensive signings at the end of the day. I think they need a bit of quality.
That's what they need, though. They need some solid defenders. The league goals.
They need everywhere.
Defence is the big one. The defence is the big problem because Antonio didn't do too badly towards the end of last season. He showed he stepped up a little bit towards the end of the season, but defensively they're so leaky. I mean, look at the goalkeeper situation as well for another thing. once Fabianski was injured, it was calamitous. They had Dean Martin. Was it Dean Martin who was 34, and the best he'd done is like League One standard. He's best like League One standard. They had that Spanish goalkeeper who they had to ship back off to Spain because he was that bad.
He's fucking awful. He was.
Berto, yeah, he's just
shocking goal. I don't know how he's a goalkeeper.
It's bad time to West Ham. Bad time.
But yeah,
I think it'd be either them or Palace that go down. I think Palace struggle.
Palace did quite well against Southampton the other night. They're fairly solid. From what
Who won?
Palace won 1-0. Zaha scored.
What?
Yeah, Palace won.
You've been the whole game.
Have you been living under a rock this weekend?
I haven't watched any football this weekend apart from the Wolves.
Actually, I know what you mean. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, Palace won in the end.
Oh, Southampton baffle me. I don't get it. They've got a good manager and good player, but they're not losing to teams like that. That's the problem with them. They can't get on consistent.
Poor mentality they've got.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have because they've got a manager who's got very enthusiastic. You'd think they'd be better. Have they signed anyone? Let me have a look.
Who? Southampton.
They've signed a couple of players.
They've signed. I've got it up here. They've signed Kyle Walker-Peters and Mohamed Salisu.
Yeah, he's supposed to be. He's a centre back, and they're saying he's quite a promising player.
They shouldn't have got rid of Højbjerg. Stupid thing to get rid of.
He wants to leave. He wants to leave. Sorry.
He wants to leave.
They shouldn't have got rid of El Yunusi. El Yunusi is a good player. Got rid of Lamina.
He wants to leave.
So he was on loan, and he's on loan at Fulham now.
They need to replace these players. You know, it's all good selling
and
them.
Also, there's been reports today of time recording, obviously, that Mourinho wants Danny Ings.
Yeah, I've heard that one as well. That'd be a waste for Danny to Tottenham. It'd be an absolute waste for him.
They shouldn't go to him. I'd have Danny Ings at United. Honestly, I would.
We did have him at Liverpool, but he's injured.
Honestly, I would sign Danny Ings.
It's so sad.
Garlo's not up to it. And, you know...
They need a striker.
They need a striker.
I tell you what, a fit Danny Ings, I'd have over Divock Origi any day of the week. He was so good.
To be quite honest, Kingy,
he would have been so good for it.
With our striker issues, I'd wait till next season when Haaland's release clause is in motion, and then get him cheap.
Yeah, but you can't wait. If you want, football's about being looking at now. It's all
Kingy, we're not going to get the likes of, if it does go through, and if we do pay Sancho and Haaland in the same window.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Well, I saw something today. Paul Merson was on about why United hadn't gone for Harry Kane, but why would they sell him? Why would they sell him? Why would they sell him to United as well?
The thing is, Ethan, right?
This will be the last point now, Kingy. We need to finish.
And the finishing was awful, so they need a striker.
Okay.
Right.
Hey lads, I think we should, after this heated debate, I think we should finish it off here.
It did get quite feisty.
Yeah. Just to finish off, I want to ask you to, name just one transfer to look out for this season, this window. Sorry.
What, of current signings at the moment, or
no, like which could happen?
Oh, Thiago to Liverpool. I think that's still on.
Putting the spot here.
I can name someone who I think will be one to watch as a transfer this season.
Okay, fair enough then.
I want to go with Fabio Silva from Wolves. I think he'll be one to watch.
I'm saying this now. Clock this. Sancho's not over. Okay, it's a buy from me.
It's a buy from me. It's over. Gareth Bale on loan. That's what's going to happen more.
It's a buy from me. This is the Bench Podcast.
Upamecano to
That's
Arsenal.
not happening. I'll tell you that now.
Oh, by the way, as well, listen to the podcast on Spotify if you prefer it over YouTube, because we worked hard to get onto it, and we want to make sure that you all want to enjoy it on different formats, really. So make sure you
also like, share, subscribe, all the usual stuff,
and please check out Anchor for
Ankle.
That's what it's called, isn't it?
It's anchor.
Anchor.
I thought it was Anchor. Oh shit! Sorry.
It's more Spotify, really. But anyway, that's beside the point.
Check them out.
Yeah, I'll put all the links in
link
the description. Everything. So it's a bye from me. Go on, Bennett. Say goodbye.
Thiago 2020 coming on.
It's not
Goodbye.
happening.
See you later.
Okay.
Next
See you
time.
guys. Peace.
Bye bye.
Good evening, everybody. A pleasure and a privilege, as always, to be at Anfield, where we are hoping for another miracle like Istanbul. Shaqiri in his own half rolls it square towards Matip.